I first started back in the 60s. It was a big struggle among people throughout the country as to whether this upstart organization that Fred Fennell had founded, whether this was just a highbrow put on or what.
It's like anything else in the world about change. When people are comfortable with something, there's a lot of resistance when somebody says, well, let's try this. And it almost seemed like it was a criticism of what was going on with the large band. That wasn't Fred's idea, is to say, this doesn't work, you should do this. He's saying, what about this?
I was a student from 1950 to 54. When I came in 1950, all there was to play in, wind-wise, was a 100-piece band. This was the norm for the nation. Fred held a concert that was a program of music for wind instruments. And instead of just doubling anybody who was on the part, like in the big symphony band, it was a totally different thing to suddenly have one player per part. The sound is different. The whole atmosphere is much different.
I knew about Frederick Fennell, met him in the 70s, met Don only in the 80s when I was thinking about actually coming here to study conducting.
Think about all the stages we've played on.
And then so in 1987, I started as a student here, a conducting student, and also did a lot of playing. And then when I came back in 2002, and I was selected as the 4th conductor of the Eastman Wind Ensemble, it was a pretty amazing thing.
That would have been the 1978 tour,
right.
Because I think after we were done with the tour, we probably threw all the white coats away after going through Southeast Asia for 3 weeks.
Let's try that section one more time.
I've heard about the legend that is this ensemble all throughout my musical growth. And so, yeah, the first time I played in it, it was such an honor and a privilege. And I wondered, as I stay here over the next couple years, is that going to change? But it hasn't. Every time I sit down into a rehearsal in that ensemble, I sit there going, wow, am I really here? Am I really playing in the Eastman Wind Ensemble?
As a musician, I think you're always learning. As a student, you do all the work to prepare for a professional career. And then when you're in the orchestra, you're expected to come and to just do it. So the wonderful thing about being in the wind ensemble was it gave us that chance to train as a professional. That's been so important for my career in the RPO.
When I was younger, I had quite a few of the Fennell recordings. I mean, almost everybody did if you were an instrumental musician. But what really turned me on were Don's recordings, because I was later in my life, I could appreciate them a little bit more, the sophistication of some of the things that Don did. I was super attracted, of course, to the Winton Carnival recording. And of course, I came here 2 years after that.
The recording project with Wynton Marsalis came about after he had come here to play with the Eastman Jazz Ensemble. Well, the group sat down and they just played the daylights out of everything. He came in and we recorded for about 4 days.
There was something about Wynton that was really special at that time. He was about my age. Here was somebody who was already a very well-respected musician, and he and Dr. Hunsberger had a wonderful collaborative relationship.
This collaboration with Wynton ended up being nominated for a Grammy and coming out, unfortunately, second to Yo-Yo Ma, but
That's not bad.
that's not bad, right? But we were number one.
We did this at Eastman in order to give our students actually a better experience as a solo player, because that was their part, they owned it and nobody else did, and they had to play it on stage. You can't hide.
Dr. Scatterday holds us to the potential that he sees in us, which we don't always see in ourselves. And that's something that's really stretched me while I've been here.
Whenever I'm outside of Eastman, it's really a special thing when you see another wind ensemble playing, to know, whether they realize it or not, that what they're doing and enjoying as a community orchestra or another university group has this link back to your musical home at Eastman. Eastman is still very much on the cutting edge of playing repertoire that's really new and still developing.
Getting to play with all these musicians here has just been incredible, because it's one thing to sit in the practice room all by yourself all day long and know that you're getting a little bit better than you were yesterday. But then you come into the ensemble and you're challenged by the musicality and the talent and the hard work that everyone else has put into it as well. And it makes you want to be a better musician every day.
I would say that if you go through all of the colleges and universities in the United States and Canada, you will find that almost every one of them has an ensemble called the Wind Ensemble. They may still have a symphonic band, but they have a wind ensemble. That's been the thrilling part of it, is to see everything just continue to grow.
One of my roles is to protect this group, to honor the history of the group, to be the best teacher and conductor I can be in the present, but also to look to the future to see what can we do next that's even better.
A production of the University of Rochester. Please visit us online and subscribe to our channel for more videos.